When it comes to content creation, audio is one of the most important things to consider. And with so many XLR microphones available out on the market, many times we will need an audio interface to go ahead and drive them for our digital needs. Will the Fifine SC1 be something that is worth your time and money? Let's go ahead and find out. I'm LL Mel, and welcome to Creators Tech, technology for creators. Today I would like to thank Fifine for sending me the Fifine SC1 audio interface for an honest review. The Fifine SC1 is an entry-level interface. This audio interface allows you to take your XLR or 6.35mm jack and convert it into a digital signal for you to go ahead and use it on your computer. For many creators, this means you are able to stream using these devices, or you just capture audio with them. In my particular case, that's what you're listening to right now. I am using this Fifine microphone in XLR mode connected directly to this audio interface, and it's converting the signal so that I'm able to use it through my video capture software, and that is what you're listening to right now. I hope that by the time you are done watching this video, you can make an informed decision as to whether or not this audio interface is the one for you. The frequency response on this device is 20 Hz to 20 kHz. It has a dynamic range of 80 decibels. It has a signal-to-noise ratio greater than 75 decibels. It has a gain range of 50 decibels. It has an output power of 30 milliwatts at 32 ohms. It has an output impedance of 32 to 600 ohms. It has a dynamic range of 85 decibels. The computer in and out type for this device is of a USB Type-C to USB Type-C. However, this does include an adapter on one end of the cable for those of you that use USB Type-A connections. The power consumption is of 5 volts plus or minus 0.25, and the current is 500 milliamps. The bit depth is of 16 bits. The sample rate is 44.1 kilohertz or 48 kilohertz, and the shipping weight is 0.8 kilograms. Alright, so now that we saw the specs, let's go ahead and check out the features. This Fifine SC1 has a gain knob. It also has a secondary gain knob that allows you to adjust the secondary instrument input. And it also has an audio volume output knob as well on the top. And if you notice here on the side, you have a lighted meter that will allow you to see your levels in color-coded format. For example, right now as I am speaking and the levels are within acceptable range, you see it in a green color. However, if I start clipping, you will notice the clipping through the color-coded format that it's using. Let me go ahead and try to clip this microphone so you can see the different color as it goes ahead and monitors it. I apologize if that hurt your ears, but it was actually necessary so that you could see the different color-coded rings that it has here in order for it to help you monitor your devices. On the front here, you will see that it has an XLR/SC 6.35 millimeter jack. Next to it, you will have the button for phantom power. It will light up green when enabled. Now I am using a microphone that does not require phantom power, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that off for now. Next to it is another button. When pressed, you are using it in the microphone setup, so it allows your audio from a recorded microphone to your input as a stereo sound. When undoing this, it's considering it an instrument, and you are now listening to the sound come in on a mono format. In other words, you're only hearing it from one speaker. I plugged it back in, and now you should be listening to this in a stereo format. Over here, we have another input, a 6.35 millimeter jack, and that has the input for your instruments. Next to that, we have another jack that is used for your headphones, another 6.35 millimeter jack. And next to that, we have a volume level for your headphones. Now, this will go left and right, and it will turn your volume up and down for your headphones. Out of all these buttons, they all feel pretty sturdy. They feel really nice. However, the only one that did feel a little bit on the cheap side was this one. It does wobble quite a little bit, so be careful when turning that. It's not something that's gonna break if you're rough with it on the first try. However, I am wary of the longevity of this particular one. That is to be expected considering the low entry-level price of this audio interface. And finally, at the very end, we have the last button. When pushed in, we can monitor our audio coming directly from our inputs on the other side. And this comes in very handy for when you're speaking and you want to go ahead and get your headphones on, like so. And now you can go ahead and monitor your sound as you're creating your content. Now in the back of this audio interface, you have the USB-C cable that acts as the power for this interface, and it also acts as the communication device between your interface and your computer. You will also see on the back of this interface the outputs so that you can go ahead and connect external speakers directly to it. When it comes to audio interfaces, one of the things to look out for is noise levels on the preamps that are included inside of them. Now keep in mind, this is an entry-level audio interface, so you're probably going to have a hard time driving a microphone that is very gain hungry. When you turn up the gain to 100% on a microphone that is gain hungry, you might not get the audio levels that you need as far as the volume goes. What I'm going to do with this audio interface to go ahead and test it, I'm going to use a lot of what I consider entry-level XLR microphones so that you can listen to the results that this gives along with those microphones. What I need you to listen in for is for the quality of the sound. Is there a lot of noise? And how clean do these microphones come in while using this audio interface? You are now listening to the Behringer Ultra Voice XM8500 microphone. You are now listening to the Audio-Technica AT2005 USB microphone. This is the Fifine K688 microphone in XLR mode. This is the Maono PD200X microphone in XLR mode. We are now testing the Fifine AM8 microphone in XLR mode. This is the Audio-Technica AT2035 microphone. Wow, now that we have tested this audio interface using many microphones, I have to say, it's given me some mixed feelings knowing that it's a 16-bit system. A 16-bit recording will not leave you as much wiggle room for editing your audio once it's gone ahead and gotten recorded compared to something that's 24-bit. If you have something dynamic, let's say you have a voice where you suddenly speak very loud and you're very animated and your volume is going high, or then it goes real low as you're speaking. And so your audio levels are going to be very dynamic as you go up and down as you're speaking. As you go up in bit depth, it allows you to fiddle around with the dynamic levels and save your audio. Now, with most entry-level content creators, you're not going to care about that. All you're going to care about is having your audio be able to come through to your computer so that you can go ahead and start creating content. And when it comes to that, you and most people won't be able to tell the difference between something that is 16 bits and 24 bits. So now that we've addressed the 16-bit elephant in the room, we can go ahead and talk about everything else that this system brings to you and that, quite honestly, packs a big punch for the price that it's at. I come from the days where there were not very many options out there, and the few options that there were at an entry level were still expensive. I'm talking about a $100 range plus, and the preamps in a lot of these devices did not sound very good. There was a lot of noise on the line. And after listening to the audio tests of the various microphones that I used along with it, I noticed that the audio actually comes through very clean. There's not too much noise. The microphones aren't colored very much, if at all, by this audio interface. It just works. So many times in my past, I have gone ahead and tried to use something only to discover that it's a big, complicated procedure just to get something to work the way it was advertised to work. With this, it's pretty much plug and play. You just go ahead and use it, and it works as intended. When it comes to driving the headphones, I get very clean sound out of that. The knob for putting the volume up or down is very responsive. The audio that you get out of your monitoring speakers out the back, that comes in very nicely as well. And the instrument that you use on this as well, the levels for it, works just as good as it does with the microphones. One of the features I like about this that not all audio interfaces do have, at least not the ones that I've used in the past, is that it has an option to direct monitor your sound with zero latency, the Fifine SC1 definitely gets a like from me. It is simple, it is easy to use, and it is easy to understand how something like this functions. If you're an entry-level content creator, I would say this is a good option for you to look at. If you are someone who is more experienced in content creation and wants to kick the quality up a notch from what you're probably already using, then this is something you might want to consider staying away from just because of that 16-bit depth of processing. If you want room to grow, you might want to consider something that is either 24 bits or even 32 bits, as we see a lot of systems out there are starting to pop up with. But keep in mind, if you're going to be spending more for bit depth, you're going to be spending quite a bit more money than what this is at the current moment. If you are considering in purchasing this device, look at the video description below. We will have an affiliate link so that you can go ahead and help out our channel, as every purchase made through the affiliate link gives us a little bit of a kickback and helps our channel grow and continue going. Once again, thank you to Fifine for sending us another great product. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comments section of this video. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. I hope I have earned a like from you and hope that this video helps you along in your content creation journey. I'm LL Mel, and you are watching Creators Tech, technology for creators.